Are you a smart investor? Do you take your asset allocation into your own hands? If this is you, Equity Multiple may be what you've been waiting for. Equity Multiple is wealth-building technology that stands above the rest. Access exclusive commercial real estate starting with just $5K. There are so many investing options out there now, it can be overwhelming. Equity Multiple brings you cash flow real estate investments with different return profiles, so you can confidently move beyond stocks and bonds. Once you invest, Equity Multiple's experienced asset managers go to work on your behalf so you can rest easy. Equity Multiple has been helping smart investors build more elevated portfolios since 2015, delivering a 17.4% net annualized return to investors. Visit equitymultiple.com/boost and receive an enhanced return on your first investment. All investments involve risk, and past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Hey, what's up, everyone? You find yourselves trying to get your Craig Mack on and put some brand new flavor in your ear? Well, funny you should mention that, because we have a brand new show that you should check out. It is called Pod Sauce. It is your podcast discovery show.
Everyone's always looking for a podcast recommendation. We got lots of them for you, from true crime to pop culture. And you can join us each week as we dish on all of our favorite podcasts out there. So make sure you download the Odyssey app and search Pod Sauce, or head on over to podsauce.com.
We got you covered, guys.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your wages are being garnished. We can stop that now. It's hard enough to pay your bills when things are good, let alone when a big chunk of your take-home pay is gone before you even get your check. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, and I can stop the garnishment and get the creditors off your back immediately, often the same day as our consultation. Both Chapter 7 and 13 provide bankruptcy relief, but choosing the right chapter is crucial. In a free consultation, we can create a plan to get your finances back under your control. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Yeah, we've done it again, man. We've teamed up with the Washington State Council of Firefighters in Operation Warm. Why wouldn't we? Because, man, we're putting new coats on kids that need them this holiday season, and actually this winter season. Look, we are getting some really great news when it comes to the vaccine and COVID. What we don't need is kids that are not in good shape. And if you've read some of the stories out there, you know these kids, some of them can be super spreaders. We don't need them to get sick, and they'll get sick if they don't have the right kind of coats. This is why this is so important to us. We have about 1,700 coats that we need to get on these kids that need them. So help us out. $20. That's what that's all it takes to get a brand new coat on a kid.
And shout out to some of the Rockaholics that are stepping up and giving a little bit more than $20, maybe even 10 times that amount. Someone like by the name of John Markowitz, $205 donated to Coats for Kids.
John,
shout
you're
out
the
to
man.
John. You rock.
Yeah, that's fantastic. There's so many different ways you can help out, because look, $1 helps out anything, and even if you don't have any money, you can share this on your social networks. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of your friends can help out. So if you'd like to help donate, you want to send the socials out there, KISW.com.
Let's play B-Migs. It's time to play the game. Yeah! So everybody scream his name. B-Migs, don't be a loser. Whoa! B-Migs, you're a loser.
It is time to beat Migs, and it's time to turn down for tequila.
Charge out for what?
Yeah. Tequila.
Even though it wasn't a tequila morning, we ended up having Steve's and Sarah's pie.
We turned down for tasty pie.
That's right. Yeah, so going into Beat Migs already with a W. Let's go.
Yeah, if you check the video, that'll be up. We'll be able to you'll be able to see who won and check out the great dishes that both Steve and Sarah had
Spoiler
made.
alert, Steve's very happy.
Yeah, spoiler alert, if you remove BJ from the equation, a unanimous victory, and you can watch it now on KSW, on the BJ and Migs Facebook page. Just type in BJ and Migs and you can watch us eat food.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's not. Hold on a second. We are having a recount.
Oh,
what?
are we?
Yeah, we are having.
Oh, someone's disputing the results over
There's
there.
a lawsuit that's been taken out. You did not win this.
Well, my lawyers will get back to Sarah's lawyers.
Sarah's not conceding this whole thing, so don't. I don't think you can. So don't move your people into the kitchen yet.
Let's just say she's a little salty about all that.
Yeah, well, she should be. Okay, she believes there was a miscount.
All right, then.
Well, she didn't factor in the fact that everyone on the show loves nuts.
D's. No, not
Except
D's.
for her, oddly.
Yeah, except for her. She's not a fan of the nut. Yeah. All right, well, while all that's going on, let's get to our contestant. We got Ian in Silverdale. Ian, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. All right, Steve, get out of here. For those playing at home, Ian will have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Ian, you can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
What movie gives Jack Nicholson the chance to yell at Tom Cruise, "You can't handle the truth"?
A Few Good Men.
Yes. The Heinz Company is based in which Pennsylvania city?
Pittsburgh.
Yes. What color are the $1 bills in a standard game of Monopoly?
White.
Yes. The Golden State Warriors are an NBA team from what city?
San Francisco.
Yes. What country artist is Nicole Kidman married to?
Garth Brooks.
No.
Toby Keith.
No.
Pass.
What part of the body is affected by tinnitus?
Ears.
Yes. What kind of animal is the cartoon character Pepe Le Pew?
Skunk.
Yes. What British holiday is celebrated on December 26th?
Boxing Day.
Yes. What fruit comes in Eureka and Meyer varieties?
Oranges.
No.
Apples.
No.
Grapes.
No. The first episode of The Brady Bunch aired in what year of the 60s?
66.
No.
67.
No.
64.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct.
Oh.
Yep, should have gone with the old standard with the Brady Bunch, but maybe Steve won't actually get to that one. And we'll have to see how he becomes, if he becomes a winner on this as well as the pie contest.
Yeah. For a while, that one question you asked about that one team, it was a different place. But I think recently I don't know how recent it is, but I think recently your answer is correct.
All I know is that I Googled it, and that was what the answer was.
Well, that's why I went to Google it now, and I go, I do remember that being the case, but I thought there were, but I...
Interesting.
I don't know how recent that happened, though. I could be out of my mind. It could be a long time ago.
Okay. Well, Steve, are you ready?
Yeah, shout out Steve. It says, the texter says, Steve, it's my 30th birthday today. It's been a long week, and for the love of DB Cooper, I'm really going to need you to win this match. All right? So this one's for you there, texter.
All right,
Happy
then.
30th birthday.
Happy 30th, texter.
That
Steve,
hurts.
are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
What movie gives Jack Nicholson the chance to yell at Tom Cruise, "You can't handle the truth"?
Oh, good movie. A Few Good Men.
Yes. The Heinz Company is based in which Pennsylvania city?
Whoa.
I know, right?
Pittsburgh.
Yes. What color are the $1 bills in a standard game of Monopoly?
Are they red? No. Pink.
No.
Green?
No.
Blue?
No. The Golden State Warriors
Are they red?
No.
Okay.
The Golden State Warriors are
White.
an NBA team from what city? Yes, to that.
Damn
Like
it.
this.
They are in Oakland.
No.
Oh. San Francisco.
Yes. What country artist is Nicole Kidman married to?
Luke Bryan?
No.
Oh, crap. Chris Stapleton?
No.
Great new record by him, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know. CJ Countrified.
No. Yeah. What part of the body is affected by tinnitus?
Ears.
Yes. What kind of animal is the cartoon character Pepe Le Pew?
He is a skunk.
Yes.
Pepe Le
What
Pew.
British holiday is celebrated on December 26th?
Boxing Day.
Yes. What fruit comes in Eureka and Meyer varieties?
Apple.
No.
Orange.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You lose.
Woo!
6-7.
Nice job, Ian. Damn it, white dollar bill.
Yeah, that was really the deciding factor right there on that one, man.
Ian, you're the man, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Ian's very excited for his win. I'm very excited because we get this.
I know, right?
Woo! Yes, yep. You may have won with the bake-off, but you lost. Beat me. Yep. Hey, you got to pick your battles, right? You take the good with the bad. I'm on the come down. Yeah, you are.
We will be in a little while after that sugar rush.
Well, not if you keep eating it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, never come down.
You got to ride that dragon.
There's one question you didn't get to, which would have definitely been the deciding factor on this one. The first episode of The Brady Bunch aired in what year of the 60s?
Ooh. What year of the 60s? 67.
No.
69.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep, it was the last question. It was going to be a gimme for the people who got to it, but even Ian didn't get that one.
No. A lot of texters are saying that the Golden State Warriors are in Oakland.
They are not.
They are not. We looked it up.
No, they moved. They're back to San Francisco again. But the texters are right. They were in Oakland, and what the heck's the name of the arena? They are now going to be going to events. They're in the Chase Center.
The Chase Center in San Fran. Yeah.
I had to look that up too because I didn't think that was correct.
But they used to play in the Cow Palace, which was in Oakland.
There's a place
now,
called
here's
the Cow Palace.
Here's a bonus question. Your bonus question. They are not from Oakland originally. They moved from somewhere else, so they haven't always been in the Bay Area. They're one of those teams that went out west.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because their mom said that you have to live with their auntie and uncle.
Nice.
So they lived in
nice one.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's the one.
Like the Philadelphia Warriors.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Warriors.
Weird. Like it was like when you hear why is there jazz in Utah?
Exactly.
And you realize that they've gone somewhere else. You're like, or even like the Lakers.
Exactly.
And you're like, weird.
Uh-huh.
Like you just change your name at that point.
How about this? Also, I always just assumed it was the Golden Gate Bridge, but that someone said that their logo, it's a bridge, but everyone thinks it's the Golden Gate Bridge, but it's not. It's the Bay Bridge that leads into Oakland.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does actually make sense.
That makes sense because they went to Oakland. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
look at all the stuff we're learning about the NBA team.
Yeah.
The only other one that both of you missed, the country artist that Nicole Kidman is married to.
Who's the guy? Doesn't wear any sleeves.
Not rural.
It's something Keith.
Keith Urban.
Right?
Keith Urban.
Oh, not rural. Good job.
Yeah, thank
that's
you
a good
very
clue.
Well, congratulations on Ian on beating Steve.
Yeah. Love that. Well, Jeopardy has not named a successor for Alex Trebek. But Ken Jennings, as we've all thought, may have a shot at it because they're letting him be guest host. They're going to resume production at the end of November, and they will have guest hosts for this production. Ken is up first, and of course, Ken said the right thing. He's like, there'll ever only be one Alex Trebek, but I'm honored to be helping Jeopardy out with this. And executive producer Mike Richards says, quote, Alex believed in the importance of the show and always said that he wanted it to go on after him. We'll honor his legacy by continuing to produce the game he loved. That's nice, but I don't think you would have stopped producing the game if, in fact, he said don't do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if Ken Jennings becomes the host. I mean, he's so well loved, and he's obviously made a name for himself of being the Jeopardy guy.
Are you sure he's the right guy? Because I've got another name for you.
Okay.
Dane Cook, everybody.
Oh, Dane Cook. Damn. Yeah.
And this is bizarre, but Dane Cook says he's been called by the Jeopardy people, and he's interested in, taking a shot at this.
Dane Cook?
Dane Cook, the comic, yeah. So he said, I could barely spit out what is yes quick enough. I hope this can happen. I'd love to honor Alex Trebek in that fashion. Dane Cook saying that.
I don't hate that idea.
It's just weird to me because... Alex just seems like a smart guy, has that demeanor. Dane Cook doesn't remind me of that guy, but that doesn't mean he can't bring something different to the party.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know. I'd like to go back and see some of the stuff that Alex Trebek did back when he was younger, and maybe there were some people that thought Alex Trebek is the host of this show. You know what I mean? For all we know, he wasn't always doing stuff that made him look like he was a smarty pants.
But you do need more than just like appearing to be knowledgeable. You have to be quick. You have to be able to throw a joke in once in a while. And whether or not Alex had writers or not, but every once in a while he'd throw a little joke in there.
And I mean, Dane Cook is obviously a guy that can, riff. I mean, whether or not you like his stand-up comedy, he was always just a fun, likable guy.
Yeah. So,
and I never hated his stand-up comedy. I went to one of his shows when he did the Key Arena, big arena show, and I thought it was hilarious.
Well, it's just people call him like the Coldplay of comedy sometimes, but it's just like, dude, when you can fill up an arena, him, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison, that's a special thing.
My favorite though was when people were really beating up on him. They were like, "We don't like him because he's too attractive to be a comedian." I'm like, that is like the greatest insult. Like. Imagine being him and like his agent goes, you're getting a lot of backlash. Like, why? Do people not think I'm funny? Like, no, they think you're funny, but they think you're just too good looking to be funny.
Pretty.
You'd be surprised, though. It is that I've heard that in comedy. Anthony Jelinek, I think, is a guy that people thought, Anthony, nobody believes you have any problems because you're too good looking. I mean, I remember people saying that about him doing comedy. It is funny to see a too good looking person. If you're quirky looking, you can still be attractive, but if you're quirky looking, you can get away with it. But yeah, if you're a little too good looking, people go, we don't believe that you have a bad life to get up here and do comedy, which is, but so it is interesting. I've heard that before.
Someone just said I played Xbox with Dane Cook once. He sucked. Then we shouldn't have him as
well.
the
All right,
host.
I didn't realize that. I mean, you're right, Steve. I mean,
Sir, you're terrible at video games.
Yeah.
So this is a good question. I can't answer it. They said without looking it up, who was the host of the game show Jeopardy before Alex Trebek?
That's right. There was somebody before Alex Trebek.
Forgot. I had no idea.
I have no idea.
I bet it was it Wink Martindale? I'm going to just throw his name out there. It seems weird that I would, but that's the first one that came to my mind. All right, we'll look it up now because we don't know. The texter could have at least given us the answer.
Well, no, then I would know the answer. He didn't want me to look.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, you will never get this.
Oh, is it somebody that at least does the games?
Well, he did Jeopardy.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, Arthur Fleming Fazin.
Oh, Art Fleming.
Art Fleming. Oh, Art Fleming. Oh, okay. Well, they used his last name, Fazin. I'm like, Who the hell is that?
That's so funny. We totally know Art Fleming.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Art Fleming is a recognizable name, but you're right. When you read the rest of it, you're like, who is this guy?
Oh, all right.
Who is Art Fleming?
He's a guy that hosts Jeopardy.
You idiot.
Vicky, he's obviously somebody that you would have no idea because you only know Alex Trebek as the Jeopardy guy. He did other stuff too, but Jeopardy apparently was one of them. I think he hosted other game shows. Or
he was in Airplane 2. The sequel. Oh, well, we all love that movie.
He was doing stuff with Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, but he wasn't the host of that. That was Peter Marshall.
Yeah, he was just the guy who was just doing it.
Yeah, I don't know what Art Fleming
didn't do a whole lot after Jeopardy.
Wow, look at Art. Okay.
Someone, actually, a few people texted saying LeVar Burton should be the host of Jeopardy.
People talked about that.
Saying that, yeah.
I'd be fine with that one also.
I would like to. I hope they give him a guest spot. Like if they'll eventually get who they get, but the fact that Ken Jennings has been brought up, the fact that LeVar Burton's been brought up, Dane Cook has been asked, let's have just a round robin of all these different folks hosting Jeopardy, and then whoever they pick, they pick.
Have them play Jeopardy, and whoever wins.
Ooh.
Well, that's not fair for Ken.
Are you kidding me? No one's going to beat him. Rev's right.
All right, well, have it be like Team Jeopardy or something like that, like where it's maybe stuff that he doesn't even know.
Or if you just give Ken a defunct buzzer.
Yeah, that's it, really.
And Jeopardy Survivor.
Ooh.
Put him on an island and let him battle it out.
Oh, that's you. I want Jeopardy Hunger Games then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Give them all a weapon and fight it out?
Have them all play, but ball gag Ken Jennings.
There you go.
Part of the challenge is you got to try and understand what he's saying.
We're going to put that on Pornhub now?
Yeah,
Is that
Kinky Jeopardy?
Presented by Pornhub.
Yep.
Well, we've got some great ideas that nobody will actually pay attention to.
Truth.
There you go.
As they shouldn't.
Hey, we got a listener that just messaged us a crazy story about that he just learned that his dad once robbed a bank. I'll tell you all about this at 7:20 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
When Holly retired from a prominent Miami law firm, she knew she wanted to focus on her grandkids, spending time outdoors with her husband, and not stressing about market volatility. She knew that stocks and bonds alone wouldn't get her there. That's why Holly chose Equity Multiple and joined the thousands of investors across the U.S. who are building elevated portfolios with real estate. Equity Multiple brings you access to rigorously vetted commercial real estate assets and passive income streams uncorrelated with public equities. You can get started with as little as $5,000 in just minutes and access diverse investments with potential for near-term yield and long-term upside. Since 2015, Equity Multiple has delivered a 17.4% net annualized return to investors. Visit equitymultiple.com/boost and earn an enhanced return on your first investment. Equity Multiple. Welcome to modern real estate investing. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Have we figured out how to explain deja vu? How do chameleons do that thing they do? Do you really need to wash your blue jeans? Yeah, you do, but how often? Hey, my name's Mike Simpson. I've got a podcast about curiosities. It's called I've Got Questions. We go through my list of random stuff and yours. Please participate. Send me your questions. I'll find someone to answer them. We've talked about our true crime obsession, how grocery stores are tricking us, super secret flight attendant stuff. I've Got Questions. New episodes Thursdays on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. We got this message from Jeff. He said, hey, BJ Miggs. Yesterday, my dad shared with me a story that just completely floored me. My dad robbed a bank when he was 17 years old. Got away with $2,800.
Damn. Was he D.B. Cooper?
Yeah, really. And he would have got away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kids. Or perhaps his pesky buddy. Yeah, his buddy ratted him out. That's how his dad got caught. And his dad ended up spending some time in jail. And he's like, Jeff is like, all of this I never knew. And if you know my dad, this would shock you as well. He said, my mom, his wife, no longer with us, and she never knew.
Damn.
His dad said he was the first person that he'd ever told. So
Minus
nobody,
a friend, of course.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Nobody ever knew this about his father, which I can understand. I mean, you rob a bank, you go to jail, and then you want to turn your life around, and you're not going to tell anybody about this because it's not something that most people do.
But when you think at some point, like you've already you obviously did your time and you've figured your life out, and you've like you said, you would never guess it. So I'd imagine that he turned his life around and became quite the individual. Like at some point when you say, okay, well, I think I'm good now. I think I can share with this crazy part of my past with at least my wife.
Yeah, I am surprised.
Too embarrassed.
Yeah, I am surprised he never told his wife.
Oh, was it like the point of no return? Where if you tell her, you're afraid that she's going to be like, I can't believe I've been with you and you've lived, everything I've known is a lie. Like those dramatic Hallmark movie things.
That could be. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shame as well. Shame is a real big problem in our culture. So I would not be surprised if that motivated him into not doing it. Yeah. So, of course, he was like, Jeff's like, hey, man, any of you guys ever get completely blindsided with an epic story about your family member? LOL. And he says, oh, by the way, him and that buddy that ratted him out, they're still friends to this day. They had a falling out for a bit after that, but he said they reconnected many years later. And
that might be the more shocking part of this entire thing. I don't know if I could ever be friends with someone that ratted me out and then ended up putting me in jail.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't trust you, man.
But you know what? Maybe serving time and really reflecting, but I kind of with you. I feel like, you know what, dude, I wouldn't have gone to jail in the first place if not for you.
Unless that was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. And he finally had a moment of clarity. He's like, you know what? At the end of the day, that was a good thing that happened to me.
Now, the part of this email from Jeff, though, I think is really important is where he goes on to say, love the show. So
that's the most shocking part.
That's really
nobody loves this show.
Yeah, Jeff,
you read our text line. Nobody loves this show.
I mean, I wouldn't tell that to anybody. You know how your father kept the thing? You should keep the love the show thing a secret. That's what.
It's the lukewarm topic of the day.
So how about this, man? Jeff shared with us that his dad just told him that he once robbed a bank. Based on this, finish this sentence. I was shocked when my family member told me blank. What is an epic story about someone in your family? 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. What is an epic story about someone in your family? Your calls, your texts after Foo Fighters on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock. 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Jeff shared with us that his dad just told him that he once robbed a bank. So based on this, we want you to finish this sentence. I was shocked when my family member told me blank. What's an epic story about someone in your family? 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. Let's go to Bernie in Square. Bernie, you are on The Rock.
Good morning, BJ.
Good morning, Bernie. Welcome to the show. What you got for us, buddy?
Well, about 14, 15 years ago, I was divorced, living at home in the basement like a teenager, and it's holiday season, watching football, avoiding the kitchen with the aunts and the grandmas, and my dad's sitting there next to me. He drops one on me. He says, something's been weighing on me these past 25 years, and I have something to tell you that I'm not your biological father.
Whoa! Wow! He drops that during a football game. I feel like that's maybe you just take me out or whatever.
When's a good time to really drop that, though?
But not during a football game, Thanksgiving. I mean, I don't want to be dealing with that then, do I? Wow. Man,
I've done
Bernie.
some pretty serious drugs in my day, and this was the biggest bomb of them all, like a white flash implosion. Just my whole world came in and, center.
Did it seem right to you? Did you ever wonder if you and your dad were cut from the same cloth ever in your life?
Well, I don't look like my siblings that much, but I do look like an uncle and cousins and stuff. So there was some family resemblance, just not my immediate siblings. But I did find my dad and another brother that I didn't know on the East Coast.
Wow.
I have a good relationship with them now.
Whoa. And so did he tell you the story? Like your mom just was involved with somebody else and they never got married and he just decided to call you his?
Pretty much. She was pregnant with somebody else and basically said, marry me. And the other guy freaked out, my real dad, and said, no. So he married her knowing she was pregnant with somebody else. And, I did the math later. I was 32. He said these 25 years have been weighing on me. I was like, well, when did you find out,
Oh, so she never told him it wasn't his.
Oh, she did. He knew. But
all right.
He goes, you got to promise me one thing. If you got any questions, ask me. Don't ever ask your mother. I'm like, oh, great.
So is your relationship with him still good?
Oh, yeah, he's my dad.
That's awesome.
He raised me. That's what I told him immediately after, I came back to reality. As you were my dad. You raised me. I love you no matter what.
Oh, I bet that felt good for him, because I bet he must have been so nervous to share that information, knowing how you're going to react to it.
And Bernie, you're in my demographic, and so maybe some people might be thinking, like, what's the big deal? You tell them. But, for guys like you and me that were raised in the 60s, that was just not something that women could say. They would be judged harshly for basically, having somebody that, having a baby out of wedlock. And your father would have been judged harshly by other men for marrying a woman who was carrying somebody else's baby back then.
Oh, yeah, and it's shame. Back in those days, they would ship off a pregnant girl and live with distant relatives. She'd come back in a year skinny, and they would adopt out the kid.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It was, you talk about society and how far we've come, and it's moments like that where you realize that, okay, we have really come pretty far. As much as we've got a lot of work to do, the way we used to treat people back when I was a young kid, we don't treat, especially women, we just don't do that anymore.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, like you didn't even have to be adopted. If you just wanted to get under someone's skin, you told them that they were adopted. Like that was like the insult of all insults. Like, how dare you say that? I'm not adopted. But nowadays, we've gotten to a point where that's just part of life. That's part of families. It's not like it's not so taboo anymore, which is great.
That was my living. That because I was actually adopted, so I couldn't even tell people you're joking.
Right, you're like, damn it, you're right.
Yeah, and so therefore I was considered the second class kid all the time. That was always the insult, that if people were done with me, they would go, yeah, well, at least my parents loved me. That was that was always the closing argument, so.
What a douche thing.
Well.
When you think about it.
Yeah, but I had a big mouth. So, you know what I mean? It was going to be something. They would have found something, but that was always the low-lying fruit that you could always find with me.
How about this one? I can't believe that a family member told me that they were a prostitute.
Ooh, there you go.
My mom slipped out last Thanksgiving that she was a prostitute when she was 18, and that I was a product of one of her Johns.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's a different
Why
part
are we
of that
doing this
story.
on Thanksgiving?
What the hell? See, Thanksgiving is a hellish holiday, man.
That's the problem when you have to have the Cowboys and the Lions play every year. It's like, it's bad football, so people are just trying to find entertainment any way that they can.
And it's not going to get any better this year either. No, we've got some bad teams playing. The night game's going to be decent, but the other two, the afternoon games suck, and I don't want someone dropping bombs there.
But she said that she was thankful for me and how well I turned out. That's it's heavy being told that your mom's a prostitute, but then finding out that you were one of her jobs, basically.
See, why can't that have been a Richard Gere situation? You know what I mean? Where she was a pretty woman and that could have had a great life. Instead, didn't happen.
How about this person? My grandpa used to tell stories about partying with Charles Manson all the time.
Whoa!
He's a crazy hippie.
Yeah, he was a lot more than the crazy hippie.
Well, I think the grandfather was.
Oh, the grandfather was a crazy hippie, yes.
My grandpa, who turns 100 later this year in just over a month, he when he was, I don't know, probably in his 40s, he owned a gas station in northern New Mexico. And I guess because of that, he used to be a boxer back in his college days and whatnot. Well, a guy came, filled up his, and it was like a full service 1950s gas station where they would do the come out and fill up your gas station windshield
and all that. Yeah.
Well, so I guess the guy came, he filled up his own gas and jumped in his car and tried to drive away without paying. So my grandpa, instead of just letting it go, he chases the car down, rolls, his window is open. He starts punching the guy as he's being dragged from in this pickup truck.
Nice.
And ends up pulling the guy out as the truck's still going, pulling him out of the truck and then beating him up on the street to get his money back.
Damn.
That's hardcore.
Truck crashed into a building, and my grandpa was just like, yeah, that's what you get for not paying me.
And nowadays it's just observe and report.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone did something like that, you'd probably just be like told that you could get fired from your job.
Oh, yeah.
If you did something like that. I mean, it's frowned upon to beat up somebody at a gas station.
Exactly.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, the old days. You know what I mean?
Back
the old
in the
days,
day.
you could treat human beings any way you wanted to.
I love that story about my grandpa though, because he's a short guy. He's probably like 5'7", and just like thinking about how scrappy he was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You got to be scrappy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you're a short person, we know people, man. They'll buff up. They do whatever they can because they just know they're short, so they got to at least do something.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, scrappy's not bad, man.
I was trying to think of one I went and shared on the air, and I was just like, oh, what's like a family member that's done something odd? And the first one that popped in my mind, nothing crazy, but I had an uncle. It was the uncle that dressed up as Santa Claus, and my dad beat him up.
Oh, that's a great story. You got to bring that out every year.
Yeah, that's a Christmas tradition, of course. But I always loved the guy, and like he was well off. Like he lived in a nice home. His family, his wife and his daughter, they always dressed in nice things. But he would always go and just leave to go collect cans. Like he would just leave gatherings. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to go now. And he would go and hit like all these random places and collect all the cans.
Wow.
And the garbage and wherever it may be, and then bring them to the recycling place to get 5 cents a can. And I'm like, I asked my mom, like, why is Uncle Frank do that all the time? She's like, he just hates being at home with his wife, and it's just a reason for him. And then after that, it was just like, even then as a kid, I didn't get that. Now, like, you know, when you get to older and you've like gone through some bad relationships in your life, and you realize he was just in a very controlling relationship, and the only way he could get away was to go and collect cans away from his wife.
And somehow, some way, he was able to convince everybody this is a steady form of income. It has to be done.
Right. This is extra spending money that we need. And his wife was okay with it, I think, because she liked the money. And even because he would get a ridiculous amount of money. Like he would spend all day.
So that would get him out of her hair.
Yep.
Or, her out of his hair. And then she'd be happy with him. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You got controlling wife who you don't like to be around, but at least if you make her happy
and make her more money.
Yeah. Boy, what a life.
I know.
Because usually you would think there's something like he needs cash. Like,
right.
Who would do this that doesn't need the money?
And I would like beg him to take me because I was like, I want to go too. I want to get some money. But I realized it's a lot of work.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
Like I did it for him when I was like, I walked away with like $3. I'm like, I just spent hours just so I could get $3.
Yeah.
That's the same with like picking strawberries and berries. I've gone out and done that. And I'm like, I'm going to make like $20. And I walked away with like 3 something.
Right. And then you realize this is a pain in my ass.
Right. You value the work a lot more.
But if your wife is a pain in the ass, that pain in the ass is worth it.
Right.
Because you're outside and you're away from her.
Because the time away is really the currency that he got.
So it's his holy cow. See, my Uncle Bob would do the same thing, collect cans for extra spending money.
Yeah.
But what was his relationship like?
Dude, you got to do. People had ways of coping.
That was his way.
They had many, and that would be on both sides because look, it probably was no picnic for whatever reason for her either. But they
what
found.
Are you talking about? Uncle Frank was the best.
Was he? I have no idea. I mean,
I never had a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Frank. I don't know about Uncle Frank. I know your father wasn't a big fan of Uncle Frank.
Well, he wasn't a fan of him dressed up as Santa Claus coming unannounced to our house.
Oh, that's what it was.
Surprise!
Yeah. It's the greatest story ever. We will break that out every Christmas. We have to. We've got an iconic rock star that has taken on a new hobby, hanging out with squirrels. What the F? Yeah, I'm going to tell you who's doing this at 7:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I have a mountain of credit card bills and consumer debt. Can I still keep my house if I file bankruptcy?
Yes, you almost always can keep your home and your house, your car in a bankruptcy. Depending on what type of bankruptcy you file, would depend on whether or not, for example, you can keep your vehicles if you have payments on them still. You can almost always keep your home if you're current on the payments on your home, even in full bankruptcy. In Chapter 13, you can also keep those items. If you're behind on your house, you could catch your house payments up in a Chapter 13, take off a second mortgage in a Chapter 13. So keeping your primary assets like a home and car is almost always possible in bankruptcy.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. And thanks for listening.
Want to elevate your portfolio beyond stocks and bonds but not sure where to look? Equity Multiple brings you an unparalleled wealth generation ecosystem built on diversified real estate investments. With Equity Multiple, you can access commercial real estate, the preferred asset class of institutional investors. And you can get started with just $5K in a matter of minutes. Visit equitymultiple.com/boost and earn an enhanced return on your first investment. Equity Multiple. Welcome to modern real estate investing.
The Russian invasion.
The heroic Ukrainian resistance.
It's the biggest land war in Europe since World War II.
And the War in Ukraine Daily brings it all to you.
From Moscow to Washington.
From Kyiv to Mariupol.
The War in Ukraine Daily talks to newsmakers around the world.
And to the everyday Ukrainians whose very existence is threatened.
You hear the heartbreaking stories of those caught in the war.
But also hear about the acts of bravery as history is being made.
I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Charles Feldman, inviting you to join us.
The War in Ukraine Daily on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.